All right, so today we are going to go over another example of utilizing ChatGPT or any other AI prompt with LeapProsper's API filters to dynamically check data and allow the AI to run any number of queries we want against that data, and give us back a response. So today's example is going to be using ChatGPT to determine if a zip code is within a specific mile radius of another location. So today's example is going to be checking to see if the lead zip code is within a 50-mile radius of Asheville, North Carolina. So let's get started by creating our prompt. We're going to open up ChatGPT and we're going to ask it to create the prompt for us. So that checks that uses the ChatGPT API to see if a zip code is within a 50-mile radius. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so this is a little bit more complicated than I'd like, but we can use this right here. And let's edit this in the meantime. So what we're going to do is take the response to source, get as simple as possible. So let's see what it comes up with. Perfect. And so now you can see that the content for the actual system prompt, which is basically the character, what have you, is your helpful assistant given a US zip code, determine whether it is within a 50-mile radius of Asheville, North Carolina, respond only with yes or no. Perfect. And then all we do for content is we're going to enter our zip code. So let's copy this and let's pull this up in Postman to start so we can see how it works. So I already have my OpenAI ChatGPT API call already set up, including with my headers. For details on how to set this up, you can go to a link that I will provide in the description that basically goes over how to set up get an API key and use it for the ChatGPT API. So all I'm going to do here is copy and paste in the prompt that they gave us. And the zip code is right here. And we are going to send this and see what we get. So we got a response of yes, which is what we wanted. If I were to enter another zip code, such as a Florida zip code, for example, I should get back no. And you can see here we got back no, so we are in good shape. So we are going to set up the filter on a buyer level filter for the API and go from there. So let's start setting this up. I'm going to open up my campaign here, standard direct post campaign. Now I'm going to go down to filters, and I'm setting this up on a buyer level. So I'm going to go to my buyer setup, the filter, and then we're going to select API filter here. First thing I'm going to do is paste in my body. So here's the JSON. And for content, instead of the hard-coded zip code, we're going to enter the zip code here. And this is going to then send the zip code from the lead to check to see if it's within the 50-mile radius. Next, I'm going to need to get my URL, which I'm just copy and pasting from Postman. But again, you can get these details from ChatGPT. And we need to set up our response. So I'm going to copy the response we got back. This one is yes. So we're going to use this with our response parser tool in LeapProsper. We're going to paste it in. And to get our response mapping, consent equals yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this filter to allow when the keys equal with, the key is here, this, and then the value is going to be yes. So what this is going to do is say, allow these leads when the zip code is within the 50-mile radius. So let's go ahead and copy this over to our filter. And then the value, which will simply be yes. And last thing we need to do is include our authorization header, which is where we're going to utilize the API key. So again, I'm going to go back to Postman where I already have this set up. Have my authorization here, and details on how to set this up will also be in that article that I link that comes from OpenAI. So let's go back to our header. We pasted in our header. And last but not least, we can create a custom error message if we want. Otherwise, it'll just be the default failed filter. So custom error message, if it's not, will be zip code not within range. Something basic. So let's hit save and close. Oh, sorry, and forgot to say we're going to run this filter on the post. So now that we have it set up, let's go ahead and run a test on it. First name, last name. So let's see, let's try again a Florida zip code, and this should block it. So right here, we have our failed API filter request, gave the zip code 33334, and we got back no. And now let's try a zip code that should be passed and allowed. And we got a success. So our filter is set up correctly. And now we were able to filter zip codes based on a mile radius. So now that is all set up, we can go in here, hit resume, and our filter is now live. Again, this is just another example of what you can do with ChatGPT and using our API filters to check against it, send a prompt to them, and get back a response. If you have any other questions, just let us know, and definitely share with us any filters you come up with. We're always open to see what type of imaginative and creative ways you guys are utilizing our tools, especially the API filters and things like ChatGPT when needed.